Hello, and welcome back to Anime-chan, where today we're going to be watching my reaction highlights of Attack on Titan Season 3 Episode 10 called Friends, and then I'll share my review with you guys. I have no idea if it's going to be a short or long review today. I'm just gonna start talking and see where it goes, but that's usually when it ends up being a long review. It's your choice whether to watch or not. But if you want to say something about my reaction, it's better that you watch, because usually I reflect on my reaction, and I sometimes change my mind, because how you feel in a moment is not always, when you take a step back and think about it, you could think something differently. I saw someone said a while back that it is self-centered of me to expect people to watch my review, when I never say that. I don't care if anyone watches my review or not. What my problem was is when people attack my opinions or my reactions while watching the reaction highlights, and they leave me these long ass comments about how ignorant I am and all like a bunch of other stuff based solely on my reaction, without even taking a second to listen to my thoughts on it. And I just feel like if you're not willing to listen to me, by all means share your opinion on the episode in the comments, and you can talk about my reaction. I don't care if you don't listen to my review, but don't call me ignorant and attack me and those kinds of things if you haven't even taken the time to understand my thought process. So it's not that, well, at least I don't think it's self-centered to expect people to treat me with respect. But yeah, you guys know that I love the anime, I love talking about it, I love watching it, and as you can see in the last episode, I am quite confused. I don't exactly know what's going on, and I know that I don't know what's going on. I know I'll have to rewatch it, read the manga, but yeah, I'm sharing my thoughts as a first-time viewer. You always get my honest first reaction, but I definitely do take the time to reflect on not only my reaction, but the anime and what it shows me in each episode. So without further ado, shout out to Random Dude for sponsoring this video. For the rest of you guys, thanks so much for being here, and enjoy my reaction. Desktop audio I already tested, so yeah, here we go. Episode 10 of Attack on Titan Season 3. And cheesecake. Oh yes.
この世に俺より強いやつがいるなんて思いもしなかった。
Whoa!
巨人ってやつか。
無理。そのまま捕まえておけ。
Oh, that's.
待てロット。撃つな。
Oh.
我々の存在を彼に漏らした者が、察するに彼はアッカーマン家の末裔ではなかろうか。あい、くそー！許してくれよ。あんた本物の王様なんだろ。話してくれよ。見逃してくれ。
暴力が全てだった俺はその支えを失ってしまったんだ。
切り出してやるつもりだった。バカな。足が。アッカーマン一族にもたらした迫害の歴史を考えれば、
He feels guilty.
君の恨みはもっともだ。だが、こんな小さな壁の中にさえ
Even within such tiny walls, to be unable to build paradise.
気づけなかった愚かな私を。
次の議会の席では俺にレイスケの情報を吐いたやつが消えて、そいつに吐かせたやつがレイスケの犬になってふんぞり返る。ちと情けねえ格好だったが、こうしてアッカーマン家への迫害は終わった。
ああ、オランピアのことならだいぶ前に病気をもらっちまってから不利者になってやせ。
Oh, his sister.
なんか随分と痩せちまったな。
She's not dead.
クシェル。
死んでる。
名前は
リヴァイ。ただのリヴァイ。
俺はケニー。ただのケニーだ。クシェルとは知り合いだった。こいつを見殺しにできるほど人を捨ててねえが、親に飼われるほどできた人間じゃねえ。それとご近所付き合い、挨拶の仕方 た。身の振り方とナイフの振り方。ただし、その時はお前自身の力でな。
And I've seen one of my reactions that I posted is, I don't remember what the OVA was called, but it was where it showed basically Levi and how he got above ground. Does that, I almost forgot, does that underground still exist? Are there still people living there that didn't get to the top? Did everyone die? I mean, if Levi, I'm guessing now, but if Levi's, let's say Levi's 26 now, and he was like 6 there, where he held the knife just now, or I don't know, 8. 20 years, what happened in those 20 years to the underground people? There were lots of people.
世界の真の平和のために。そこが王の果てしなさよ。
サネさんよ。
Sunnis. I should know that name. You have nothing else to devote your life to.
そう。この世で一番偉いのは力さえありゃいいんだよ。少なくとも妹みてえな最後を迎えることはねえだろうからな。
So he left him.
私はもう長くない。
Why is he so old? Do you age faster as the king? I'm confused because Ymir was a titan for 60 years and she shifted and then she was young. She didn't age at all. This guy, but he was Rod's younger brother. How did he die of old age and then Frida was next? Does part of the king's blood make you age faster when you're a titan?
力が引き継がれるだって。
そのわずかな人類の黄昏に私は楽園を築き上げたいのだ。お前は暴力を信じているな。
ただお前にバカでかい腕でつまみ上げられなければ、俺はお前の頭にクソを詰め込んでただろうな。
それでも私はあの時の奇跡を信じている。
I don't understand why he says he wanted to build paradise, but the court was surrounded by those royal families that are such complete and utter batshits that look down upon, and that guy that called them slaves. Like, why keep, like, your friends are a reflection of you. Like, the people that you surround yourself with are a reflection of you. So why were those people in the court? There was a fake king. I don't know where Rod Race was during all of this, but Rod was he was on the side of the king, like on his sides with other nobles. But why were they all such? If this guy wanted to create paradise.
ロッドの娘も人々の愛がどうしたとか平和がどうのこうのとか似たようなことをほざいている。その力を手にしさえすれば誰でも同じなのか。
Oh, and that's why he wanted the power.
例えば俺でも。まあわけが上がらんのもわかる。
壁が破壊されて2年。巨人の相手は諦めて人間と残された領土をめぐり争いや構いませんよ。すべては無意味です。
俺が考えた建前に過ぎねえ。議会のクソどもをうなずかせるクソ用の方便だ。何のためだって？神にも等しい力だ。それを手にした奴はみんな慈悲深くなっちまうらしい。一体どんな気分なんだ。そこから一体どんな景色が見える。なあウーリー。
They're all Ackermans. Blood relative? Question mark. A family of warriors who once served the royal government. They began to be persecuted after distancing themselves from the royal family. Why? Why did they distance themselves from the royal family and the other? Because they were not the only bloodline that isn't affected by the Titan power. The others are as well, and that's why they're the nobles. So why did the Ackermans, why did they start distancing themselves from the royal family? The details are unknown, but some experience mysterious awakening and gain abilities exceeding a typical humans. Maybe Levi knows he's an Ackerman. Somewhere inside him. Because he's had that awakening. Didn't he say he had it?
どうもこいつを撃って巨人になるらしいな。アホな巨人にはなっちまうが、ちゃんと注射打たねえとあいつみてえな出来損ないになっちまいそうだしな。俺は死にたくねえし力が欲しかった。今なら奴のやったことわかる気が
Why
す
he
る。
bowed?
俺が見てきたやつらみんなそうだった。酒だったり女だったり一
All
族
clinging to something.
王様夢子供
Who was Sandus again? I should know. Oh, is that how she looked?
力やってられなかったんだな。
Still true.
みんな何かの奴隷だった。
ケニー、知っていることをすべて話せ。初代王はなぜ人類の存続を望まない？
知らねえ。
俺のせいもアッカーマンらしいな。あんた本当は母さんのなんだ？
ただの兄貴だ。
He maybe wondered if he was his father.
あ
Maybe.
の時
俺は人の親にはなれねえよ。
ケニ
Already? Now they believe in her.
多くのオルブノク住民が目撃してたんだ。あんな小さな体で我々を巨人から救ったのか。
そうすればこの壁の求心力となって
She's already being a good leader.
まさか本当に仕留めてしまうとは。
Are you gonna punch? Are you gonna... Why? I don't really understand why she wants to punch him.
どうだ、私は女王様だぞ。
ありがとうな。
I don't really understand.
勝ったぜ。兄ちゃん助けるのは後な。
あっちから来るんだし。
That looks like Aaron's dad's glasses, not gonna lie. Who is you? Huh?
来るんだし。
Wait, when was this? Now we have a coordinate? Retrieving the coordinate is our priority as it should be. The power, the vessel. The power is what they can, what should be in the royal family, but then it's the will of the king. Somehow, it's like a chemical reaction with the royal family blood, and then the will of the king gets implanted into their eyes or magically. So that's the power. The vessel is whoever has the power in them. Anyone is a vessel, but the most important vessel is the one who has the power in him. Now there's a coordinate. What does coordinate mean? bring the different elements of a complex activity or organization into a harmonious or efficient relationship. So bringing a coordinate brings elements of a complex activity or organization into a harmonious or efficient relationship, or in chemistry terms, form a coordinate bond to an atom or molecule. The sodium atom is coordinated to 2 oxygen atoms, so it's joining things. Coordinate, equal in rank or importance, denoting chemistry denoting a type of covalent bond in which one atom provides both the shared electrons. What the fuck is a covalent? Covalent bond in which one atom provides both the shared electrons. So like a host. No, that's a vessel. Each of a group of numbers used to indicate the position. Okay, no, it's not that one. Matching items of clothing. A coordinate has many different meanings. What does the coordinate mean? The thing that brings the different elements into a harmonious or efficient relationship, is it that? I really want to check the preview. I don't think the preview spoils anything. I don't understand why people say the preview spoil things. The preview just hints at things. It's the same as seeing this, what I just saw. It's hinting at something. I just don't know what it. So I don't understand why people complain about me watching the preview. Jesus. Kenny recalls a life which has brought him to death's door, but he gets to decide whether to live or not. And he gave it to Levi. Okay, time for my review, which I want to start by reading this quote from Kenny. Everybody I've met was all the same. Drinking, woman, worshipping God even, family, the king, dreams, children, power. Everyone had to be drunk on something to keep pushing on. Everyone was a slave to something, even him. And by him, he means Uri. It was interesting for me to note that when he said woman, he talked about rod race. And it makes me more sure of the fact, because I was at first I was unsure. I didn't know if his wife died and then he had a relationship with Historia's mother, but I don't think so. I think that was kind of like his thing. You know how we all kind of have our thing. We're all kind of obsessed with different things. We all live for something different. Like Kenny said, everyone had to be drunk on something to keep pushing on. And I mean, yeah, to some extent we all are. Like, because what's the point of life? You know? It's reflected very well in the blonde girl, the character that was in Levi's anti-personnel squad. She didn't care anymore. She was like, I don't care. What's the point? There's no point to anything. It's like this nihilism, I think it's called. Let me just Google to make sure so I don't say shit and I don't know. Nihilism. The rejection of all religious and moral principles and the belief that life is meaningless. So it's like, that's what you, or that's what almost swallows you up if you don't have something to cling to. And yeah, we all cling to something different. Religion, sex, money, power, whether it's physical or knowledge, you know, thinking that the smarter you are, the better you are. Some people, you could say, even cling to this idea of being good, cling to this idea of conforming to society. Everyone has something different. For some, if I had to think what I cling to, sometimes at least it's this idea that I'm almost absorbed sometimes by my passion and what I want to do and what I want to create, and that can be negative too, because I forsake a lot of other things in my life to focus on that, and it can become a slave. You can become a slave to to that side of you, to your drive. Let's say that. Like, I'm actually, sometimes I feel like I'm a slave to my own drive, because when it becomes almost an obsession, when there's literal anxiety if something prevents you from that's called alcoholism, shopaholic, stuff like that. And it can even be, helping people. Some people help others and are there for others to their own detriment. So it's not necessarily that all of us are a slave to something negative. Sometimes it can be something positive, like Uri, compassion, almost being a slave to compassion. Imagine being so compassionate that you hate seeing humanity hurt itself, so you think it's better off if we're all dead, because at least no one would be hurting themselves, or we wouldn't be hurting ourselves if we were all dead. Imagine being that compassionate. It's possible. Maybe that's why he wanted humanity dead. Why the first king wanted humanity dead. They were so compassionate. They thought the world would be a better place without us in it. Haven't we all thought that at some point? Haven't we all thought that we are... I look naked if I don't sit upright. Haven't we all thought at some point that we're fucking up this earth? If it wasn't for us, the world would be a beautiful, better place. Humans should just not exist. Like, if you look at the wars going on in the world, children being sold as slaves, women being raped, men killing each other. Sometimes you think wouldn't it just be better if we didn't exist? Can we really say that if half of the world being happy, isn't that worth the other half still suffering? Because a few of the good guys are trying to help, but we're also just trying to survive. So, but it's okay, because I know that a lot of people are suffering and getting raped every day and being worked to death, and stuff like that is happening in the world. But it's fine, because other people are living happily, and some of them at least are trying to help the others. If you're compassionate to a fault, if you're a slave to compassion, do you think that isn't that the whole Thanos thing? Wouldn't we be better off if half of humanity was dead? More food, the earth can survive longer. I don't know. Yeah, I think if I had to think what keeps me pushing through is what doing this. I am to some extent a slave to creating. I've always wanted to create, and I've tried so many different things, and I've just found creating videos as the one thing that works, or that I want to make work, because I'm pretty good at anything that I try except math. I can't do math, but I'm pretty good at most other things. Like if I want to do it, I can do it. When I was studying English, philosophy, psychology, I was in some kind of golden club on my university campus, because I was in the top. I was very smart, because I studied I studied I'm not just smart I studied to be that smart, because that was all I had at that time. So I became a slave to studying because it was what I was supposed to do. And then at some point, let me try and explain this. Studying was what I was supposed to do because I was supposed to become a teacher, supposed to marry the love of my life, supposed to have children, buy a house, grow old with the one I love, and the kids go off to school, and we send them to university, and so the cycle continues. I was a slave to this concept of what society thought was normal and what we should do. And that's why I studied, because I was going to become a teacher. I was going to get married to the love of my life. I was gonna. I was a slave to this you know, what were they would call it the American dream, but this was the South African dream, I guess. I was a slave to that, and then my whole life came crashing down, and I was studying philosophy at this point. So imagine how fucked up, like imagine you're living your whole life for this thing, and then it gets taken away from you, and you find yourself like, what? It's gone. Where am I going now? Then you just sit there. You're just like, what the? Who am I? Where am I? Why am I doing this? And then you have to find something to help you move forward. And I clung to a lot of things. I was studying philosophy at the time, so I just threw myself into philosophy, psychology, English. What did I study? I studied Chinese for a bit, but I dropped that in my second year because it was too hard. Chinese it was called Mandarin. I had one more subject, and the other subject I had was Afrikaans, which is my first language. And I threw myself into that. Philosophy was my favorite subject, and it led me to things like the law of attraction and quantum physics, quantum mechanics, quantum theories, and then that kind of stuff became my obsession. And I dropped out because I was so obsessed with that, and I was like, I'm not gonna find my purpose in life, because that's all this taught me. Like, I need a purpose. I'm not gonna find my purpose in life if I'm studying to be this thing I never even wanted to be in the first place. And that's why I dropped out. And then I had to survive. There wasn't time to think about really what I wanted to do. So I just kind of had to get by first. So I had to work as a waitress, and I worked at a salon, and then it's such a long story. I can't delve into my whole life story, but I'm just thinking now, there was always something or someone that I was a slave to, mentally, not physically. And these days I like to think of myself as anything and anyone can be taken away from me. Doesn't matter how crushed I will be. I know, because I've survived the worst. I know people all over the world have survived worse things. I mean, there's people that lived through the Holocaust. But I just feel, I keep telling myself, like, if I could live through that, doesn't matter what is taken from me now, who is taken from me, I will somehow get through it. And whether or not that's true, it doesn't mean that there aren't things today that I'm a slave to, you know? And is that good? Is that bad? Is it normal? Is it a part of the human condition? Is it what we need to keep moving forward? Is that part of life? Is it a strength? Is it a weakness? I don't know. Wow. Kenny was a great character. Kenny was an interesting character. I knew that little kid was Levi, but I wasn't sure. And now I saw this whole... That was a very beautiful episode. Wasn't necessarily action-packed and wasn't the biggest episode, but damn, they did it so well. They told the story so well. I think so. And Historia was crowned, which is exciting. I don't understand why she wanted to punch Levi. I don't know what he did. And I said on my Patreon that maybe it's because Mikasa said it. She told Historia, you can punch him when you're queen. That little runt. So is it like, are they just all mad at him because he's their superior, so he's probably treated them like trash? But it seemed like Historia specifically was mad at him for maybe something he said or did or thought, and she wanted to kind of get back at him. Or was it just kind of get back at him for all of them, you know? Because he was their leader, and he's treated them like shit before. Like, any leader is sometimes gonna, especially in the fucking military, like everyone wants to punch the opposite of subordinate. But Levi smiled for the first time. I saw a lot of people in the comments freak out about Levi smiling. I love Levi as a character, but I'm not necessarily obsessed with him. I prefer Erin's been my favorite since season 1. Mikasa started being my favorite more or less, I think, around season 2. I love Armin, but also not a lot. This season I've started to love Historia a lot. So, what else did I want to say about this episode? I know I talked a lot of about what Kenny said in the first part of my review, and there was no point to it. I just wanted to explain what came up for me when he said those things, you know, about being a slave. You know, let's break down what he said, like drinking. Some people, like while I was at university, some of the people I knew, they would literally push themselves through their studies during the week and just drink themselves into a stupor each weekend, almost like as an escape from forcing themselves into this. Because most of the people I knew, they studied things that their parents wanted them to study, things that society deemed this is a good, you know, this is what you should do, this is how you're going to get by, this is how you're going to make a living for yourself. Or they studied you know, what was possible for them to study, or what people told them, you can't do this, you're only able to do something like that, and then they went to study that. And it's like they pushed themselves through the work week, the study week, and then on weekends they just drag themselves in a stupor to forget. So some people slave to drinking. It's almost like they're like an escape. Same, I think it can come down to the same thing. Woman, when you look at Rod Race, his powerlessness was probably easy for him to forget when he lost himself in relationships. What do you call these relationships? Out of wedlock. Like, you know, he slept around. Historia's mother was probably not his only mistress. So probably due to his own complete and utter powerlessness, his almost like you could see he's not the smartest being in the bunch. Maybe that's why he never got to be the next Titan. Maybe that's why Yuri was chosen and not him. So anyway, I think he, instead of drinking his problems away, he slept with these women to forget. A lot of people lose themselves in religion. They don't have to deal with the world's issues. They don't have to deal with their own issues because they can just pray to God about it. God will take care of it. A lot of people lose themselves in religion. A lot of people are slaves to family, to you know, this obsession with becoming this happy family, having children, and like a lot of, it's not just women, but it's a very feminine thing, like this motherly. We all have motherly sides. If I say feminine, I mean like we all have, you know, that yin and yang. We have a little bit of everything inside of us. Like, even if we're female, male, we all have a motherly side or a strong, like that masculine side, and more often than not, women have this desire to have a family and have children, and that becomes almost like their obsession, and they end up marrying guys that are not at all right for them because they just want to start a family. I see here Kenya actually said being a like a slave to your dreams. I can really relate to that. Like having this desire, this drive to create something or to become someone, and becoming a slave to that dream, to that ideal, to your drive, whatever you want to call it. Power, and like I said, that comes in many forms: money, physical power, even wanting to become smart and using that to your advantage, manipulating others with your knowledge, seeing yourself as superior to others because of your knowledge, because it's a form of power. But I guess these days, money and physical power are most prominent, like it's most easy to see. Everyone had to be drunk on something to keep pushing on. Everyone was a slave to something. Damn, this was a good episode, and I don't have much more to say than everything I just said. It's interesting how Kenny was, I think, a slave to power. it's like he didn't know what was the meaning to life, so he sought meaning, and he sought meaning in power. He was confronted with this power in front of him, this king, true king, whatever, and he was confronted with it, and then he saw this immense power, and he wanted that for himself, and then he saw this power bound down to him, and he wanted to understand that, and he wanted to become that, I think. At least that's how I understand it. But Uri, he talked about paradise, wanting to create paradise. But then at the end, Kenny said, why did the first king want humanity dead? Or want to kill, or didn't want humanity to survive? So I'm wondering, when Yuri talked about paradise, was he talking about his own paradise or the will of the first king's paradise? And is that paradise a world without humans tearing at each other's throats? Because that links to that song, which I think Pixis talked about, like, when humanity, will there ever be a time when humanity, I don't remember exactly what Pixis said, but I remember Erwin saying that he doesn't think there will be a time when people will stop fighting against each other. Even when we have a common enemy, the Titans, still people are fighting amongst each other. Still there are people seeing themselves as better, the others as lower. No, we won't unite to fight against a common enemy, maybe for a little while, as long as it benefits the both of us. But if this side can sacrifice this side to win alone, they'd do that. They'd fight. They'd say bleep, and then these were like no, and then there would be argument again against each other, and then the common enemy would eat them both. So yeah, nothing else I want to say. Not today. This was long enough already. I guess I still have the same questions. Oh fuck, the ending, wait. The ending, God. Okay, what I wanted to say is I still have all the same questions, what is the first king's will, how does it get, and why did the power get to certain people, and blah, blah. All my questions that I've asked in every episode is, I still have most of those questions. I'm not going to ask them again in this review, whatever. I'm not going to ask them again in this part of the video, in the review part. But the ending, I don't know. I don't really understand. I don't know if I'm stupid that I don't understand if that happening in the present. Is it happening in the future? Did it happen in the past? I don't know when that happened. Was that even in the walls? Was that another town? I don't know. I don't know what the outside world really looks like. That looked too towny. I think there was walls, so that was probably somewhere in the walls. But was it when? I don't know. Should I know? I don't know. Am I stupid for not knowing? You tell me. Don't tell me, because that would kind of be rude. If you say I'm stupid, just say, if I'm supposed to know, you can tell me. If I'm not supposed to know, don't tell me. But that guy, I'm thinking it's Aaron's dad. If it's not Aaron's dad, it's his grandfather or his dad's brother. I don't know. He looks like Aaron's dad, except with blonde hair. So I'm still thinking like he used to dye his hair as camouflage because he was part of like he infiltrated the walls, like Annie and them infiltrated the walls and became part of society to one day overthrow. So maybe he has always been dyeing his hair. He did have it all neatly combed and stuff. If you dye it, like, I don't know, maybe he no, I don't know. And if it was his family, if it was like, why is he blonde? I've never really seen, have I? No, there will be. Like, I've never seen siblings, or even like a father and a daughter or a mother, like one has really dark hair, one has blonde hair. Like, I've never seen that, but I'm sure it's a thing. But then, is it a thing? How do genes work? I don't know. But he definitely gave me Aaron's dad's vibes. With the glasses and the shoulders and the beard and that person is either Aaron's dad or someone related to Aaron's dad. And that's my final thoughts on that. I'll see you guys in the next episode, 2 left, and then season 3 part 2. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching with me and listening to my thoughts. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments on this episode. Tell me, how did you feel the first time you watched this? See you guys next time. Bye!